Welcome to the Last Week This Week review of Superman 2025. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zack Huber.
And as always with our reviews, we start off with some non-spoiler discussion and go into some spoiler talk after. That might be a bit hard to do with this movie, but we're going to try our best to give you some non-spoiler review first. So yeah, let's get into it. What were your thoughts?
So my non-spoiler thoughts is I really love this movie. I should say I really like it. Maybe I will get to the point of absolutely loving it after a second or third viewing, because I am dying to watch it a second time.
Me too.
And I think part of it is because it's definitely my most anticipated movie of the entire year. So I had a lot building upon it, building inside of like my expectations, what I thought might happen, trying to leave it all when I go to see the movie. And I think for the most part, it met or exceeded expectations. And there's a few things that we can get into in spoilers that I think maybe I haven't figured out how I feel about it yet, or maybe some things didn't necessarily always click the way that I was hoping that they would. But it did exceed expectations in ways that I didn't realize they would, and they met them. And I guess standout things about the movie is it definitely feels the most like, and I know this isn't a new thing, but it does feel the most comic book movie that I've ever seen. Not in the way that it's a shot for shot remake of panels like Watchmen or The Spirit. But it definitely,
it just feels like a lived in comic universe, like the most any movie has ever just established.
Well, it has all these things that I love about comics, and it straddles them very well, where you're dealing with some really wacky and like insane things, but the world is set up so that you can buy into it.
Yes.
But at the same time, there's real like pathos and emotion that comes out.
Yep.
And there's interesting conflicts, and there's intrigue, and
there's real morals.
But at the same time, like there's really amazing action, and
there is
set pieces. And so like there's that. I think that David, Rachel, and Nick were all perfectly cast.
Yep.
And I don't think that I think this is probably the best Lex Luthor that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know why I haven't heard more people talk about Nicholas
I've actually
Holt's
heard
Lex.
some people like don't like his performance or the character. And I'm like, I just don't get how that's possible. He's like one of the strongest parts of that movie for me,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. So like, I don't know. I felt like he should be getting some more praise.
Yeah.
Jimmy Olsen, Mr. Terrific were really great standouts that I like those. I like the idea of those characters. I just didn't know how they were going to fit in. And then when you see it, it just works so great.
The whole Daily Planet staff was a delight, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the set of the Daily Planet was amazing. And I like, to your point, I didn't expect Jimmy Olsen to be as big of a part as he was, but like he played such a great role in this movie and this kind of mystery he was in.
Yeah, and I really like that like little subplot of the movie.
Totally agree.
I really liked it.
It really enhanced the whole story for me, which was surprising.
And I mean, just overall, I really enjoyed it. It's definitely the most superhero comic book movie I've probably ever seen, in mostly like good ways. And I'm pretty happy. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, even Eve, I thought was like surprisingly a great like side addition to, like, no one's really talking about Eve. And I thought she was like a great I won't say too much, but a great little like subplot as well.
Yeah.
I thought Guy Gardner was amazing. Like Nathan Fillion killed it. He had just a ton of personality and opinions and jokes and that's the thing too, is like you go into a James Gunn movie and you're expecting like a lot of jokes, where I felt like this was the most scaled back he had ever been, with like how humorous a movie he had done, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But even then, there were still like plenty of times where like I laughed throughout the movie, and it didn't feel like it was taking away from any of the story, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think the comedy was a bad part of it at all.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people have problems with the comedy. And they would like, I've heard comments made about it undercutting scenes, and I don't know. I never felt that way.
Yeah, I just never felt that way. Like I get that we've seen a lot of that in the past. But yeah, just this wasn't the case for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved the score as well. Like the use of John Williams' theme throughout it was really great. He had some like individual like actual songs that felt very James Gunn-esque, you know.
Yeah, I thought the score was really well done.
Yeah.
I particularly really like the theme that they had for Luther Core. I don't know. It's got this. It almost reminded me of Fight Club in this weird, like it felt like a 2000s like what kind of music was that? It just felt like something out of the 2000s in this weird like Matrixy style like music that I really enjoyed.
I could see that. Yeah. Were there any other characters that I really loved? I think that might be it for the characters.
Perry White. I wish I had more Perry White.
I think
he was great.
That's like a minor complaint for me, is like there are some characters who I wish got more screen time or more story, right? Like Perry White is one of them. I think Rick Flag is also another one for me, where he really wasn't utilized in this movie well. I don't like, he was very much like a very background character, it felt like.
Yeah, there was something interesting with the government storyline that it wasn't bad. I just kind of wish that they dived a little bit more into it.
Agreed. Because like I honestly, like going into this, I expected for the movie to like set up like Rick Flag to be like the main antagonist of Peacemaker in season 2, right? Because that's coming out so close to this movie. It doesn't seem that way at all to me, but and I thought he would be more involved, like maybe like talking with Superman at one point. I don't think they ever share dialogue.
He talked to him as he was like being put on the plane to go to that that little strip of land where they're like going in and out of the portal. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess we could get into spoilers here.
You don't know anything. I say portal, you don't know anything. So.
Yeah, he just said a portal. You see a portal in one of the trailers. So
there you go. You don't. Right. So I'm sorry, but it's not. You don't even know what we're talking about. It was fine. It was fine. He served like a purpose. It wasn't like, oh man, that he like after watching the movie, I would say that did he deserve to have his own character poster?
No, absolutely not.
No. I mean, like nobody's watching that, and I don't know. It's
Metamorpho I thought was really great too, though. I thought he could have had a little more screen time, but I thought he had plenty.
That's what I was. Yeah. I just wish that he particularly had more screen time. I thought there would have been. I'll go into it in the spoilers, but yeah, I really wish that he would have gotten some more.
And I think
because Anthony Carrigan's so good.
I also, I think they feel like you feel like Metamorpho was underutilized. I think Hawkgirl was even more underutilized for me. Like I think she was present, like with the Justice Gang, but she didn't like nearly have as much like outstanding like personality as like Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner. So it felt like she was like just the third wheel of this, kind of gang. at points, and so like her action really shined through to me. Like I really loved her and her action pieces.
Right.
But I think I could have used some more Hawkgirl for sure, some more development. Um, but yeah, I think those are really my minor complaints, non-spoiler wise. But I'm down to go into spoilers if you want to.
Yeah. Sure.
I will say, like right off the bat, I love the like it reminded me like the very beginning, the opening like crawl of like Star Wars. I thought like the little bits of like information he gave us where it was like 300 years ago metahumans were first existed, and then 30 years ago he landed, 3 years ago he comes out, and like I was like perfect, that's exactly what I need to get up to speed.
Right.
Yeah, so I love that. I love like the title
like
card
that,
too. That was amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
that was good. I like that it's 300 years in the past, because it opens the door for certain plot lines to come out. Now, not as far back as like some things in the comics. I don't think that you're going to be able to do if we're going to say like 300 years.
Sure.
But it
because at that point you're like you're saying oh shoot, what's the guy who's like been around for like a million years or something?
Yeah,
Dr. Vandal Savage. Yeah.
But like what I'm saying is like you can do him. You can still do him, like, because like you can still say that he's been around like since the, what would that be, the 1700s?
Well, even then, like
1600s.
The opening like text does say like, I think it was like 3 centuries ago, metahumans were first like discovered to be like on Earth, right? So like technically you could say he just wasn't discovered this whole time.
Sure. Right. Yeah. So, but I like it. I like that you've opened the door in the past already to explore as much in the past, like a great wealth of like time that you can draw in the past.
All the period pieces we can make is great.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I really enjoy that. And I really enjoyed the fact that it was like, and 3 minutes ago, he just lost his first fight.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, like we're coming in at a very pivotal point in time in Superman's journey, which I thought was great.
And what it also reminded me of was how a comic book would start, where you'd get these different panels of a tundra
like context
landscape,
right?
And then all you would see are like the text bubbles or like text blobs, explaining the backstory as you go through each panel.
I know exactly,
and that's what it reminded me of,
for sure.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of stuff that they don't explain, which doesn't need to be, like, I don't need to have explained how the solitude of the
Fortress of Solitude,
of Solitude, it like works, or how it got there, or how the Superman robots were made. I would like to one day, but I don't have to.
It's a lot left up for like implication, like, or it's a lot of implied stuff. You know what I mean? Like in the comics, Superman's a pretty smart guy. It's very implied he could have made those robots, right? I mean, but I think like Metamorpho, like his backstory is not delved into at all. The reason he has Joey, and I mean,
I was like, dang, I feel like there's that I was looking forward to. I thought there was going to be so much more there, and there didn't seem to be.
I guess what I kind of like about that is that like it's almost like so natural for him to be a character like in a universe where like these people have existed for 300 years, that you don't need like this person explaining to everybody why they're here, and like you know what I mean?
I know. I think I thought he was going to be like a
much
bigger role, and I thought that we'd get and I'm sure we'll if we see him again, which I can't imagine that we wouldn't, given that like he seems to want to join the Justice League, and
I think he'll be in the Justice gang, whatever you want to call it, you know.
Well, yeah, but that Maxwell Lord Justice League is like straight up from the Justice League International comics, like having Guy Gardner, having Metamorpho in there, like, so it feels like they're gonna keep him around,
right? Yeah. They even set it up.
And so maybe we'll get a bit of that. So like I guess when I saw the Stag Industries logo and when Superman gets into that building after the something was revealed and he's very upset, I thought, oh, we're gonna start touching on the, I know, but I just want to talk about it in full. Yeah, but I just thought that we were gonna get a little bit, but it was like a nice, like it was a nice nod that, like, hey, we got this Metamorpho character and here's a little piece of his past that you can, if you know, and
for sure.
So hopefully they dive into that. I'm glad that it doesn't seem like anybody was confused when all of that was going on, because I will say the weaker part of this movie for me takes place during that part of the movie where you go into the pocket universe.
Oh, really? Okay. Why is that?
It just, look, I gotta watch it again because I might change my mind, and I don't hate it. I do. I think it's fun, and I really enjoy a lot. Like, I enjoy how insane Lex is, and like keeping all these political prisoners. Like he's literally his ex-girlfriends, and he's literally, acting as a corporate underground off the books prison for governments to just dispose of their like or like writers and stuff. And I'm like, how do you get away with that? Well, I guess if you're rich enough, I don't know. But and he's got like the rage monkeys, which was great. It's it's so comic booky, but I love it. But when we got to like Metamorpho and then this weird baby, and you're like, I imagine if you like were just a normal audience member, you're like, this is a weird kooky character, and that's a weird baby, but like I buy that he wants his baby,
of course. And that he's truly disturbed by seeing Lex shoot somebody.
So that was one of the highlights of that was such a great scene. I think I just got a little I was starting to feel a little weird about it with like his powers, like Metamorpho when he turned into acid, like all of that kind of like happened very quickly, and then he started turning into like this octopus thing, and I was like, this is verging on like absurd, and they go into this like it's a proton river, and he's about to he blows away from the black hole, and I was just like, that was so very insane,
I guess when you say it out loud, it is pretty insane, but like, I don't know, it all made sense, like while I was watching it didn't feel like insane to me,
I think that was just the one part of the movie where I was like, there is a lot going on here, and I just want to watch it again. That's what I was just like, this is you got a proton river, and you got Mr. Terrific with the bots, and Lois,
you got crypto in here,
it was just a lot,
for sure.
And then I was like, how is the proton river not killing the raptor guys or Superman for that? I mean, I guess he's really strong, but I'm like, stronger than like having your molecules ripped apart. I don't. It was just. I was like, because I think maybe if I don't know, I'm just saying it wasn't bad. It was just one of the. A lot was going on. Right. It was the weakest part of the movie for me. Even though I immensely enjoy the pocket universe like idea, like
right, and that they're bringing that back from like Peacemaker is pretty cool.
Like that's really neat. I got hints of like why I thought James Gunn would be great in like heading the DC universe from watching the way that he would handle things with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
because first of all, he's he loves making up these made up countries and just injecting like other parts of the world that don't always like it feels very much like these are types of character kind of like areas of a world that don't get shown on screen as much, or at least to like typical American viewers.
Right. And what's nice is that like you don't risk pissing off like that people's country, you know, like where like you have like this white savior almost, and conflicts,
and I don't think that any of these like made up countries are supposed to be about any actual real country in the real world.
Right.
It just is. It's kind of a smart way to like flesh out the world and also like kind of play out different political and cultural
and I think
things in a way that but when the dictator, when the Baravian dictator, you know, everyone's like, you're so handsome and you did so great, and he's obviously like not a great looking guy, and he's insane, and he's got terrible bad plans, but it's that level of, there's something that he's really good at when he flips the portrait of himself and it turns into a fucking portal machine. I'm like, and it's got that Luther core music, and I'm just like, it just feels, it just is cool. I'm just like, hell yeah. And the fucking dictator's got the fucking portal that he's.
Well, and I think that's what was so great about like the movie, is that so like almost every part of the movie was like a part of Lex's plot to get what he wanted. You know, it was part of like get to attack and try and kill Superman. It was a part of like trying to become king of a nation. You know, he wanted so much, and like the plan that he had throughout the movie like was going to give him everything he ever wanted. And I think it was such a complex plan that like I didn't see it fully all the way through, and it was really strong. And I love like the plan one for one, but like I love how Lex is so like, I mean, he even admits it at the end of the movie that like he's so engulfed with like envy and hate towards Superman that like that's all he can focus on. You know, like he doesn't care about anybody who's innocent. He's like let people die. I don't care. Like I want to kill this man at all costs. Like he's willing to let a black hole or like a dimension rift happen in the middle of his own city, you know, like to kill Superman. So I love that aspect of it, and how much of a true hater Lex was for Superman.
Yeah, I mean, I really love his Nicholas Holt's performance, because he really did play at times like perfect mustache twirling villain, but then in the same breath he's so a very like much more advanced, higher like personification of like real world kind of people,
right?
But like he's got this like rage and envy and anger and truly like diabolical intent.
But it's not even
and
like,
he's
but
kind of
he
insane.
has all of that, and it's not even like over the top to me, right? Like it feels like it comes from like a natural place, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And it's kind of that like I love humanity so much that we need to get rid of you, and like
and that I should be their savior, right?
Like I'm the one who can fix things, and I'm the one who should be getting all this. And you really believe him that and I would say at the end of the movie, like it feels like it's almost like I can't tell. Part of me is like it's just begun. Like his rage is just like started. Like
I mean, this isn't the last of Lex for sure.
No, but like I feel like either he's like I should be terrified at what next is gonna come, because he just seems so angry.
Well, that's what's crazy, is that like he's already had like crazy actions like in this movie to justify his plan and like wanting to kill Superman. So like for it to go even more, I'm not even sure what it like him opening up a rift to like in the middle of like Metropolis is insane. Like that is I don't know how far you can go more than that.
Well, I mean, if you get Brainiac in there, I mean, it could get pretty.
Sure.
It depends. I mean, there's a lot you could potentially do.
Yeah, well, and he can team up with other people now that he's at Belle Reve.
True. And so there's possibilities. But I also can't tell if like that line that Superman says, which is for Earth's sake, I hope that you see that like I'm just here to help. But like I hope for like Earth's sake you see the humanity, because I think it's implied that Superman thinks that like he could literally be doing some great things because he's so smart.
Right. Yeah, he can actually be a savior, but
there could be a redemption.
No, that's not going to happen. No.
Probably not. He's pretty evil.
Yeah, he's pretty evil. Real quick.
But I love watching him on screen, even though he's so evil.
Yes, agreed. Now, we haven't really talked about Superman, the main character, really yet. But I was truly so charmed by David Corenswet's portrayal of Superman, and I like so many of the saves were truly great, and like the one that stood out for me was like him saving the squirrel. It's just like he cares for every single like individual life form on this planet, which was just so like moving. But then he also has this like this humor and this emotion that comes out that he can't really control, and it's the most emotion I've ever seen a Superman have on screen. It really shined through.
I mean, there's some moments with Henry Cavill that I would say I've seen some emotion come through in equal parts in some ways. Like he's like you don't touch my mother, and he's like freaking out. Like,
but I think there's
like when
more sides to it than like anger.
And I know, I know, I agree. He is a much more.
He's like such a well-rounded.
He's a much more complex, charming, also sometimes angry, saddened, but also joyful character. And I thought he did a really great job managing all of those. And like, him and Rachel in the at her apartment is. I mean, that scene is so good, and their interactions and the way that they're like, he's playing Superman, playing Clark, playing, and she knows and we know, but
it's also
trying
like
to stay on the record, and it's still it's like a referendum on how their relationship's going as well, but it's also like catching us up to speed. So
what's so great about those scenes and the scenes with like him and like the Kents, like I thought it was so cool to see like him be his true self in front of those people, right? Because like he's either like Clark at work or like Superman in front of the people. But with those three people, like he can be his true self. Like he can get emotional like he wants to and argue as he wants to. And I thought that was really cool to see like three sides of his character in this movie.
Yeah.
And like speaking of the Kents, that was one of my favorite parts of the whole movie was when he goes back home and he's just, realized that his real parents have sent him to Earth to basically rule over the people and show no mercy. Right. And he's struggling with his like internal self. I love that moment with Pa Kent and him saying like, hey man, we're not like here to tell you like who you are. Like you figure that out on your own with the tools we give you. And it's just like, and from that moment on, like the John Williams theme played like throughout the movie, and like it just kept kind of like crescendoing into like this moment of like and then by the end where like he confesses to Lex like that is my greatest strength is being human, and it was a great like moral theme of like the whole movie to like have that throughout the second half of it.
The Kents were I found them to it's hard. I really do love Kevin Costner as Jonathan Kent. I really do, but there is something about this portrayal of
it felt so real
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, they just feel like the type of people who would have raised that person.
Yes.
And their performance, I don't know. I mean, even like Ma Kent, like, she had more lines, and
she was so charming.
And she was so charming. Both of them
Yeah,
were great.
when they're on the speakerphone and like yelling through it.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad they had that, because I was like, if we only had the one scene with them when he goes home, that would have...
No, yeah, that would have been rough.
So I'm glad that there was that.
Don't be a stranger.
And yeah, I mean, speaking on the parents, so the thing that... This is why I got to watch it a second time, because I'm not hating on this. It's just hard for me, because it is hard for me to adjust to.
It's a different origin for Superman, really. Like, he's never had, like, this is different, right? This, like, the Krypton thing you were gonna mention, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's happened in Smallville. I know it, and there's kind of like bits of it that are like touched on in the My Adventures with Superman animated show. I'm fine with if it is completely true that the language is saying, like, we want you to rule over them, and you
take as many wives as possible.
Take as many wives as possible, because like if you read it a certain way, it can come off as like kind of villainous. But the first half of the message is very much about how much they love him so much.
Right.
And that was also...
They just don't have love for humans on Earth.
Well, I'm not going to say that necessarily. Potentially. I have to watch it a second time. But
to me, it felt like they were more trying to preserve the Kryptonian legacy, right?
I know, and I was talking to Hannah about it, and she was saying that, like, and I've heard other people like give their takes, and it ranges from like, well, it might come across as like unloving or whatever, but like really what they're trying to do is like, if you sent your kid off to this place that was like ruled by ants, at least you knew that like he was gonna be safe. Or also like, well, to them it's just normal to do that, and like they think that they're like the best thing for that planet.
For
that individual to go there. So it doesn't have to be like completely malevolent. Even
the no mercy line though is pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But
yeah,
and I am, like I said, I'm fine if that is like, that will never change. Like we find out that like, yep, that was how it was said.
I do think that is how it was said. Yeah,
it might be, but I do like the idea of going somewhere down the line. It's like either Brainiac or Zod like messed with it, and he originally was supposed to hear the entire message, but like it got messed. It just didn't. It just got
corrupted or something.
Corrupted, yeah. And you find out that's what most Kryptonians want to do is basically be like Viltrumites in a way. Like that could be cool, or it could be like Brainiac being like originally from Krypton, and like something like how My Adventures with Superman goes, which I won't spoil, but like he sets the seeds for his own thing. And now they might never do that, but because I do think that I do like change. I do like that he messed with it. Like he switched it up, and I do like that it's kind of like invincible, like Viltrumite kind of.
Well, I think what I really like about the change is that like it plays so well into like the like Clark's development, right? Like it shows like at the very beginning, like he believed because he was sent to Earth to do good and like be humanity's savior, like that's what he should do. Right. But by the end, it's
just who he is.
That's just who he is, right? And like his true parents on Earth are the people who give him comfort. And I thought that was such a beautiful message,
Yeah, it's one of the best parts. It's incredible storytelling. Like especially for making him have a crisis that you're invested in, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like somebody like Superman, who it's traditionally been kind of hard to find ways to like have people
Give him a full
access
arc
that movie,
right.
or that story and that character. And I still think that, okay, this movie did that. And I'm not saying that it has to change. I'm just saying down the line, I still don't think that it would ruin that if like you find out, you know,
It doesn't ruin it, but I wouldn't want it to change.
Originally you were supposed to, yada, yada, yada with Earth, so you could prepare for from us coming back from the Phantom Zone or, whatever. And,
right.
Now, to try to save on time, like get stay on time. I mean, highlights of the movie, definitely that message that was sent with the Kryptonians. That was an incredible way to tell that story. Daily Planet crew, all amazing. Particularly, I love the Mr. Terrific fight scene.
That was maybe like a top 2, top 3 fight of the whole movie. That like him just beating up everybody at Lex's compound was so great.
I mean, it's probably my favorite fight.
I think
of the whole movie.
My favorite, to be honest, I mean, it's just a really long fight. Is like basically starting when Ultraman and the engineer like attack Mr. Terrific and Superman when the rift starts opening, and it doesn't end until basically he defeats Ultraman. When the bus ends on him. Like I think that whole sequence is so great.
It's great. No, it is good. It's great. Yeah. But there's something special about that Mr. Terrific.
The music.
I don't know. I was in awe of that. I was in complete awe.
No, I agree.
The Ultraman thing being the clone. Yeah, I feel like we all saw it coming.
I could see that coming. Yeah.
But it was still cool. And
it was still very cool.
It.
Yeah.
And it gave us another like highlight is when Lex is giving that speech and he's just like 1A. I was getting chills. I was like, that he is fucking, I don't know. That performance was great. I loved it.
Yeah. I love Lex and how emotional he can be, and how much he wants to kill Superman, how desperate he is.
And then the ending with that song. Oh, the whole conversation that he has with Lois while that interdimensional imp is getting fought outside.
That is such a great scene. Oh my god.
It's so good. And his whole thing about and that's when it also felt like a big comic book moment for me, was the absurd thing happening outside. Him basically
it's like it's just daily
they
life.
Got it.
Right.
And he's bummed out about what's, this message. And then you see like Peacemaker talking on the news, and he's talking about how like, oh, they're just jealous of me, and I
couldn't believe Peacemaker was in this. That was great.
But then it's also like Lois is like, "Are you gonna deal with that?" And he's like,
"No, they got it." And
it,
which shows the amount of trust he has in those three.
Yeah.
And
him basically just saying like, "I'm gonna turn myself in because A, it's the right thing to do. B, that the dog
alone.
is alone, and he's not even like a good dog." Even a good dog. But I don't want him to be alone. And I was like, damn, like that was the epitome of who he was. And then to top it all off, him just being like, I should have told you a while ago that I love you. And I was like, and then
her not saying it until the very
page.
End.
And like next page, and it's like that's the end of that chapter of the book. I don't know. It read like a comic book. Sorry. There's one shot in particular that I loved, and it's not even a big thing, but it's Perry. It's Lois, Perry, and Jimmy, and they're walking in a line on the roof of the Daily Planet, and they're all going into Mr. Terrific's ship, and you see it just enough of the skyline as they're all walking in a straight line towards that, and I just felt like I was watching a comic panel, and like the text, the speech bubbles would be just above them, and it was, I don't know.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was special, man. Yeah. And like, what's funny is that crypto was a great addition. I had heard a theory
about crypto.
Yeah, we didn't talk about crypto, but like I had heard a theory that he was going to be like Supergirl's dog, and that Superman was just going to like take
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
and I was see that coming.
Yeah, so I was like half expecting that to be the case. I mean, especially when he was like, I think he was asked, "You have a dog?" and he was like, "Kind of." Like it's like he alluded pretty early on that it wasn't really his.
Yeah, and he said at one point he said, "Oh, it's kind of like a foster situation."
Right.
And I was like,
right.
What does that mean? But then I got it. I was like, oh. And by the way, that entrance, I mean, I am so excited for Millie Alcock's Supergirl movie, because I didn't know what to expect out of her character. Like, there's been so many different iterations of who Supergirl is. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know if we were going to get, I knew we were going to get like somebody who's a bit more fun in a way. But I just didn't know which way they were going to go about it. But I love the idea of her being this,
right?
Like, she is dealing with her immense grief of losing everybody that she's ever loved by basically just being Star-Lord at the end of like during the Guardians of or I was gonna say Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where she's just getting drunk, and she's just a party girl, and she's not dealing with her problems. But like, there's something, she's got that insaneness about her where like Crypto's breaking the ground with her, and she's laughing the whole time, and she got stains on her costume. Yeah. And I'm like, this is gonna be a great movie.
No, yeah. Funny enough, like when I was reading about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, like that's exactly what I expected. Like, she is in a point in her life where she is like severely depressed. She's going to like space bars and getting drunk, and like that's exactly where we pick up at the beginning of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. She's at a space bar getting drunk, and then Lobo's gonna roll right in and fuck shit up for her. And I'm so excited. I'm glad it was just, it's like such a smooth transition from like Supergirl or Superman to Supergirl. I think that's going to be like a great like two-parter almost. And I'm curious to see if Crypto's in it as much as he is in this one, or even more.
I mean, he's featured on the Woman of Tomorrow cover, so I imagine that
there you go.
He would be.
There you go.
But I love the like, your cousin is here. And it's like, when did you move the door?
Well, like in her exit too is like, thanks for taking care of my dog, bitch. It's just like she just does not care at all about like how she presents herself, and it's kind of wonderful.
I do have questions about like the whole like red sun, yellow sun thing, because I'm like, but I'm like, but aren't you under a yellow sun right now? I don't know. It's fine. I don't need it to be like,
oh, sure. Like, she shouldn't still be drunk, right? Because she's back on Earth. But yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But what I do want to see, I want to see in Supergirl is I want her to take him out to a bar where there's a red sun.
That would be great.
And see him get like drunk for the first time.
I think we'll probably get that as like a very final scene or like an end credit. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, like, this movie was great. I don't even think I really touched on like my one minor complaint in this movie, which was that like at the very end, the Justice Gang kind of like just changes their morals up just by kind of like seeing what's happening on TV.
Right.
Which isn't like, it's not huge, but like I wouldn't have minded like some more development with them. And I think they had the runtime to do it. It was only like 2 hours, 5-minute movie. So they could have added a little more.
I wish that this movie was just like 10 minutes longer.
I mean, I could have been happy with 2.5 hours, to be honest. But
I think it was like close to perfect. It just needed to be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I also really love the guy who played the dictator of Bravia. Like, he was just so.
He was pretty goofy.
But
he's good. Though. He's just goofy.
I loved it. I agree with that.
But I think
I was worried.
But yeah.
Well, the last thing I'll say is I was worried that not worried, but they said that, this is a toned down Superman. And like, in some ways he is like, he's
power scaling wise. Right.
Yeah. But like, it's because like all the trailers made it seem like he was just getting beat up all the time. And then you realize
right.
what is going on. And I would say like, he is still very clearly like the most powerful in this entire world, and nothing is like fucking getting to him. It just
I mean, and they stated as a fact that he's the most powerful being in the world. So yeah. I think it's honestly the power scaling down was for the benefit of like the entire movie and the storytelling.
Yeah, and as much as I did want to see like the kid who's like raising the Superman flag to Jordanpur or whatever it is. Like as much as I would have liked to see him like find a way to get over there, it would have been like, well, yeah, Superman can just do everything. So what's the point of having all these other characters? And then when you have Green Lantern show up, I'm like,
well, that's what's great too.
It had to work. It had to be like that.
He consistently is happy to like rely on the people like that are his friends and that he trusts, like Crypto at the end saving him from Ultraman, and then, the Justice Gang helping out across the world. Like he entrusted all 5 of those beings to help out. So yeah. I love this movie.
It was
definitely lived up to my expectations, and I had some pretty high expectations. So yeah. That is our review though. Thanks for sticking with us while we reviewed this hefty one. But we will be back probably next week with another review, and or you'll probably see another episode from us next. But until next time.